Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Roll20 presents The Burning Wheel. Roll20 presents Joy is going to court. Joy, let's
Is that
let's,
what we're doing?
let's
Is
figure
that
it
what
out. Let's see how this goes. So, when last we saw you, how's Joy doing? What's going
I
on?
believe I was given the task of go to court,
That's right.
basically.
Listen, you have
Um,
some leverage there. You've got some
I
power.
can we just like restate? Am I supposed to be spying, or am I getting something, or am I
Yeah, just
asking
like go and
something?
figure out what's going on
Okay,
because Katarina doesn't have
she doesn't
like
have
really
agents there right
anybody there, and you're supposed to go and dig around and find out what's going on, report things that might be interesting to your employer.
now. Okay.
Also, like, get the fuck away from here for a little while. This is the lay low, right? The like
So you're sending me to the court.
Stygian waitress. We don't have one of those. I don't know what you're
Yeah,
talking about, right?
yeah, yeah.
I mean, this is
After
this is put on
after the
your joy
murder.
put on your joy costume and stop being the waitress here, and instead go to the court and dig around because maybe they like you.
I mean, and that's okay.
Yeah,
So I have Soren's knife
you
as
do.
well. Point of order.
That's
I
true.
know he was looking for it last session,
Yes.
sort of. Okay, cool. So we're headed to the court. The only way I can figure that Joy will get there is by walking. So from wherever I was to like Alessandra's estate,
Mm-hmm.
which I can't imagine is like super difficult to find
I would say,
necessarily.
yeah. Do you know? I mean, you would know where it is. Everybody knows
Yeah,
now.
You used
I
to work
mean,
there.
no,
Nope.
oh yeah, that's true. That's true. I did.
Wait,
Oh,
you
that's
were
right. Yeah, briefly.
Yeah.
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 So I've actually been there before.
Okay. Yeah. So you know your way back.
Yeah, so I guess I walk there.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably cold as fuck. And but like a fair distance in that kind of cold.
Mm-hmm.
But like what happens at the gates, I guess is the question. Like are there guards or
No.
uh
There
or
are none.
that?
I think at this point, like, it's cold enough that I don't know. Alessandra, do you make someone wait outside the door, or when someone comes to your place, can they knock and then a footman will come and open the door?
I think there's just a footman on the inside.
Okay.
You've made the
Okay.
point that we don't have like official guards, and
No,
those
yeah, you don't have armed guards.
I was just
those would be the people on the outside, like standing
The
there
king,
freezing. But
yeah,
no.
the king has the Green Mantle Company acting overall, but they're much too busy like out doing shit
Yeah.
in the king, like trying to keep brigands and bandits from like taking this place apart from the inside. So they're not here hanging out protecting your house. He's got the lady protector. He'll be fine.
So I guess I approach the door
Mm-hmm.
and open it without knocking if I can, like from the outside, like just push my way in.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can pull the door open and slip inside.
Okay. And then I imagine that there's some kind of attendant, but I'm immediately like my goal is either find someone I recognize in high authority, in like high station, someone like Soren or the king or any of these
Okay.
like nobles that I know.
Yeah, I mean they're not going to be hanging out in the front gate. You're gonna have
No,
to
of
get
course,
past. You're gonna
of
have to get
course
past
not.
this footman,
Yeah,
whose
yeah.
job is also to be like, "Yo, hold on."
I'm just giving you like the
Yeah. So
further
you
play.
open the door and you slip inside, and yeah, there's a footman there dressed in the Corvidae livery who is startled by someone just walking into the house, because
Hmm.
normally he should know there should be like the guests of the house today and like courtiers arriving and like all that shit. He would know already.
Sure, he has
It's
like
part
a
of his
list.
job, and you should
Yeah.
not be here. He knows that instinctively upon your opening the door, and he sort of steps up. He was like leaning against the wall.
I'm like brushing snow off my shoulders and like pulling my hood down.
Yeah, when he
So
sees your face and sees that you're not someone that he knows to be on the list, and you're like a Stygian, he puts his hands up and he's like, "Oh, no, 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 no. You can't be here. I'm sorry, you don't have an invitation." And he comes up to be like, "Excuse me," and like basically he thinks you're just a peasant trying to come in here and get warm
no,
or like steal something.
like
And
put
so
my hands up, my ink stained hands, put them up and go like, no, you misunderstand me. I work for the king. Uh, I've seen him many times before.
I don't. what's your name? And he turns and he goes back over to like essentially like a guest book, a registry of all the people coming and going. And he opens it and he's like finding the page for the day.
Joy. My name is Joy.
And you see him put his finger to the bit, and he has to use. You can see his
And
mouth
I'm- and
moving
I'm-
when he
and
like
I'm-
because he can't read that well.
I'm standing next to this like podium that he's got this book on or whatever. This place he's got the book, and I'm like mimicking his posture of like looking through things.
I like
and
that
looking
you're
very
making fun of him to an audience that doesn't exist because he's not looking at you. You're
Yeah.
just doing it like, and he looks through the list and he looks up and he says, no, I'm afraid I don't see you on today's appointments.
Well, this was more of a drop-in affair, not exactly appointment making worthy.
Well, you'll have to leave note and come back. I simply can't allow you entry.
I assure you, my dear sir, that the king will want to see me. I promise you that. And turning me away now could be very bad for you. It's not a very good place to be in.
Whether you know His Highness or not, this is the home of the Lady Alessandra Corvide, and we have rules here.
And see, that's what I was hoping, that the birds in charge would have brains in their heads. But instead, you seem to have it written on this page in front of you, and it's just empty up there. So I'm hoping that I might just push past you and deal with my own business, because you're clearly going to be of no help to me.
If you're not on the list, you have no business here. And you're like that's how it goes. If you'd like to, I mean, I feel like we're at the like intent and task part of the
Definitely.
interaction. So
Definitely.
your intent is to convince him that it is in his best interest to let you buy because you know
Because I
the
have a
king.
relationship with the king.
Yeah. Okay. Let's have you roll persuade.
Cool.
You can get an advantage. You have a reputation or like
I
something.
don't have any reputations or anything like that.
Okay.
I literally just have a relationship with the king.
Okay. So he might not know. He's probably never been to court. I was just trying to think
I
if he would
figure,
recognize
he's a
you.
Corvidae guy, right?
Yes.
So I didn't even bother with that angle.
Yeah. I'm just thinking because if he recognized you as the court jester, that might put back to your story, right? Like.
Oh, sure. And I introduced myself as Joy. It's not like
But he just
fake.
I'm just trying to see if there's anything that would help you. Okay. All right. So he doesn't know you to see you.
No.
So it'll just be a persuade roll.
So we'll go persuade. And can I fork in falsehood? In terms of like, it is in your best interest to let me through, because I'm pretty sure the king doesn't give a
He
shit.
wouldn't give a fuck. Yeah. If later he were to find out that you were turned away, he would probably just be like, interesting. Like weird. I thought she was dead.
Yeah, like
Maybe.
it doesn't
We don't
matter.
know. Yeah, okay. I think falsehood. You're trying to bamboozle this guy.
Sure.
Also, I think letting you in if the lady of the house finds out, she might not be very happy with this.
It's true. Okay. To corroborate my story, can I, just digging through my bag here for a bit of an advantage, show him the Larix livery that I own, that is in my possession?
I feel like probably.
He probably wouldn't let me get that far.
Yeah, but we can. I mean, we can make a link test if you want to make like a disguise test. I know you're not trying to hide who you are, but it's the inverse. You're trying to like use your skill at dress to like if you show up dressed in the livery.
Never mind.
Okay.
Never mind that. I just thought maybe I could pull something there. Did you say I have an advantage thing? or something?
No, you don't have a reputation.
No?
That's what I was
Okay.
looking for.
So, what's my
Ob2.
ob 2? I fail.
Ooh. All right. So you're not getting in the front door.
I rolled 5 dice and I got 0 successes.
You did. It's there. There's
Cool.
the proof right there. So yeah, he puffs up his chest imperiously, and he says, "I am afraid there is simply no negotiating it. If you are important enough to be allowed entry, You would be on the list.
Stop you right there. And I pull out a knife belonging to Doris.
Okay, well, hold on. You pull out a knife. I feel like pulling a knife on this dude probably triggers his like get someone important like instinct. Right?
That's what I want. I want someone important.
but
It's
not in a get someone important to deal with this, but in a like someone just pulled a knife on me and is trying to break into the house. He flees from you through the secondary door, which you hear shut and lock.
Is there any other way out of this?
No, you can go back outside, but he runs off.
But there's no other door?
No, yeah.
I don't even get a chance to like sneak in after him?
No, I mean he runs and immediately just like turns around and slams the heavy
Maybe
door.
this knife will convince you.
Yeah, like
All right, well, never mind.
so you're standing in this waiting room. There's the door with there's the podium with the list. There's the hangings of House Larix and House Alessandra, and they and then the door out, and you're just standing there holding this knife, which he thought you pulled out to stab him with, and so he fled. He just like ran.
I'm standing there like incredulously, basically.
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
jumpy servants. I didn't even do anything.
So what would you like to do?
I'm gonna disappear that knife again.
Okay.
And then just wait.
Okay. All right.
Just gonna wait here
Okay. Sure.
for whoever important shows up.
The kind of important that's going to show up are going to be people who are here to like throw you out, and they're going to be like armed. Like it'll be someone that he can go to be like, someone pulled a knife on me and they're trying to break into the house. Like it'll be a cop. It won't be like
3 big people with swords will come and they will beat the crap out of you.
Yeah.
Screw it then. I leave by the front door and I make my way around the house
okay. Time
on
to
the
sneak
outside. I am looking for a window or a like back door or like a kitchen entrance or anything like that. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, some insecure ingress into this estate. Okay. I feel like this is just a.
The king is supposed to be accessible to me. Damn it.
He is, but there's this other PC that's got these things in the way.
I know.
So unfortunately. There's going, yeah. I mean, the thing is, the king won't turn you away. Like, you have access to the king once you have access to the king. Yeah. Okay, so you're looking for a physical entrance to the place. You're casing the joint, basically.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Well, I think we're looking at like a linked test for something else, right? Because finding a way in and then actually getting in.
State-wise?
Oh yeah, I definitely have that.
Yeah, like I feel like it's not observation.
Like let's just roll 100 things I don't actually have the ability to roll.
That should be a skullduggery skill. Is that a skill?
No,
so
skullduggery is broken down into a bunch of other skills.
So there's scavenging, but that's not very helpful.
You're gonna survey as a lead in to your prowl roll that you're gonna make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
You push yourself.
Yeah, I think that looking for. I think it's just a perception test. It's just walking around the place, looking for a way in.
All right.
Yeah, I mean this could very easily become a comedy of errors where you find an open window and slip in, and it's the guy from the front door.
I mean,
like,
we all
there
know
she is.
We all know that's exactly what's going to happen.
You'll get into the castle, but you'll end up in the dungeon.
What is the ob for the perception?
So this is a linked perception test. The next test you're going to use is going to be. So what kind of entrance would be best for you? Because that's what you're trying to find, right?
Like a servant's entrance would be best. I feel like a kitchen entrance or a back door or something like that.
Right. Okay.
If
So
I
you're
slip in through a window, I'm likely to look very suspicious if anybody sees me. But if I go through a door, it's much less a problem.
right. So you're looking for an unattended servant's entrance that is not locked.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's call that. I think it's fairly like hard to get at because there's like walls and stuff to this place. It's gonna be a bit tricky. Let's call ob 3 perception.
For okay.
Perception's open ended, so.
All right. Cool. 3. Oh, I got it. What?
Okay. So you got it, and did you get any 6s? You did not. Okay, so this means it's not any easier or any more difficult.
Okay, great.
So this was the link test.
Hold up. Is perception meant to be open-ended?
It is, yes.
Then that means that she can spend a fate point.
That's right. You can still spend a fate point to make it 4 if you succeed. That's right. Thank you.
All right, why not? I'll spend a fate point. I have
I'm
one
like so keen to find out ways.
Okay, so if you roll a d6 and you roll the extra die here, you're gonna re-roll a traitor, one of your failed dice, the one failed die. Okay, no.
Never mind.
All right,
Never mind.
so it's fine. You just don't. There's no penalty or whatever. But you do find there is a servant's entrance. But I think that I think there's a servant to overcome. I think that you find the entrance because there is some scullery maids standing around outside. And if this were like a modern game, this would be they're standing around outside smoking.
Yeah.
So my immediate first plan is just to walk in like I'm supposed to be there, because you know what? That seems like, if I don't have to talk to them, all the better. I'm not gonna convince them if I don't have to.
Okay. So I think these are two like young, like probably like 16 or 17, two maids from the scullery, and they've unbeknownst to the rest of the kitchen staff, they've like melted some like sugar, and they're outside pouring it in the snow. And they're like giggling to themselves like they should be inside working, but instead they're making themselves some candy. And you see them doing this, and if you want, you can just try to be like zoop, and then they don't see you at all. You slip in behind them.
Yeah, I mean that's what I want to do. Definitely.
Okay, all right. I mean that's a stealth check.
Okay.
And it's opposed. Do you have stealth?
I don't.
Okay, they don't have. They're just gonna be rolling their perception, so they don't have observation either. So it's just even.
All right.
Is it fair to run this as inconspicuous instead, Adam?
I mean,
No.
that's what I would have
No,
said.
because inconspicuous is people see you, but that they don't notice.
But
Like,
You
I'm
take no
acting
notice
like
of
a random person walking across the yard and inside, just being like, "I belong here." Like that's beyond the pale, I think. In this,
I mean,
Hello,
that's fine.
fellow
That's
servants
fine.
of the castle.
Look, if it's not possible, we'll do a stealth roll. It's okay.
yeah, I think this is if they don't notice you later. When
They're doing stuff they're not supposed to be doing. So if I fail
Inconspicuous.
this, I've got
I can imagine the threats that will follow.
inconspicuous will be later in the castle when you are trying to blend in. But this is to gain ingress into the estate. I will roll a perception roll. Let's see, and they are helping each other, so they're gonna have one extra die.
Of course.
Okay, I got 3 successes.
Oh.
So you also get you'll need 3. It's just we're treating them as the
Well,
stat v stat.
Someone cue up the GM horseshit emote.
I use a fate point to reroll that 6.
Okay.
Or whatever, however that works. I need a success, damn it.
Okay,
Yes.
Now hold on. So let's talk about this. So I got 3 successes. We're currently tied. Ties go to the defender. They're defending the door. So you
I have
need one
another
more
6.
success to do
I have
it.
another 6. So
So you got 50. You got 50-50 on this one.
I'm
Yes. Wow. Nice. That was very
Wait,
unlikely
wait.
to succeed.
I think something's wrong. Elf succeeded at a roll. I think something has gone horribly wrong. The ob definitely was meant to be one higher.
Yeah. So yeah, you got 2 successes against Ob 3, and then bumped up to 3, and then up to 4, and you beat the Ob in your way.
I sneak my way.
And they
into
don't
it.
even notice. You just like whoop, like slip into the
Right on in
cast.
there.
Yeah.
They're too busy eating their delicious snow candy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, what's funny is they're worried about being caught from the inside, and they're not paying attention to people coming.
Yeah.
Like this is not a place in which they would expect someone to get in. Okay, so you find yourself in the scullery, the like lower like area where the maids and servants would like prepare the food and then bring it up into the castle.
I'm familiar with the food preparation area of this particular building. I've been here.
Yeah, I mean, you're in the room where you prepared the poison that killed
Killed Duvril, yeah.
Yeah, you killed the lord of the house. This is the scene of the crime for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
There's a
that's
moment
when-
of like, okay, we got to move on real fast here.
Exactly. And this would be the part where we would see your hand on the doorknob as you push the door open, and then handcuffs, and you look up, and the detective of the alternate series he's here, and he's like, they always return to the scene of the crime. I've been waiting in this kitchen for 10 years.
I mean, It would have to be a French accent because it would definitely be Clouseau.
Oh
Jake,
yeah, exactly.
Joy. Like, good God.
So,
So yeah, I think instead we do see the place in different times, right? We see through your eyes, we see this kitchen, and it's not it's not bustling. It's not like a but there are people here. There's someone. There's a man scrubbing a pot. Another servant is coming in with an armload of fire to stoke the stove for the evening meal. And you slip in unseen. And for you though, you're seeing this place not lit by candle and lantern, but by the light of a single, maybe like a single light source, a lantern you brought in or a torch you brought in, and you see the mortar and pestle that you used to prepare the poison, and you feel a bit of like a chill kind of run down your spine at returning to the scene of the crime.
Little bit of a flashback,
Yeah.
So I want to move through this place as quickly as possible, and find someone who will recognize me from the castle. That's my whole goal right now. As soon as I have someone who recognizes me, I'll be able to get to the king. It's just there's a bunch of Corvidae servants.
Do you want to circles up someone who knows you?
Not. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. It is literally the easiest circles roll in the game. Someone who knows me. If you don't care anything else about them.
All right.
It is an Ob1 circles test.
Sure. Why not? Why not?
So what are your
This is gonna turn out really badly.
It'll probably be someone who knows you from your last life path setting, because it's you have Noble Court, right?
Which is Noble Court, yeah.
Okay, let me just find that, and then I'll just kind of pick someone at random. You have access to the castle. You move through, and then you run into someone that knows you. But I want to see what their job is.
Yeah, of course.
And it's not one of Alessandra's servants or anything. It is it's like a courtier or a member of court.
Yeah, like a noble court person.
Like literally any noble courtier. Okay. Noble setting. Noble court. Got it. Okay.
You got it?
I got it.
It's going to be interesting. All right. So, modifiers none.
Obstacle 1.
1. I fail.
So it's fine. You run into someone you know, but they don't like you very much. It's someone you have offended before. Someone in the court who hates your guts.
I mean, I knew that was going to happen anyway.
Oh, I know who you run into.
How could this possibly happen to Joy of all people?
I don't need to. I know, right? It occurs to you.
I know who you're going to make me run into, and it's the worst.
All right. So I think you narrate the exit of your from the kitchen, and like you're kind of coming up into the main.
So I figure once I'm inside, people aren't looking for someone who's out of place. You know what I mean? And the stealth drops into a more of an inconspicuous maneuver. You know, like I'm walking through the kitchen.
I think what'll happen here is that I'll tell you who it is, and then if you want to try to be inconspicuous so they don't notice you, you can.
Okay.
Or you can try to talk to them. But anyway, yeah. So you come up out of the kitchen, and what are you wearing? Like when you shed, because you walk around in a winter cloak, people will be like, "Why are you wearing your coat inside?" So what do you switch to?
I have another cloak that belongs to some noble that I could throw over this one, but that's probably not the way to go either. Yeah, I shed the winter cloak and like hang it basically, or like leave it somewhere near a door. It's not really very important. And it's just like regular street clothes under that, you know, like she looks fairly poor.
Who is this poor person?
But other than that, yeah, it's kind of regular clothes. She's got a little bag with her as well.
Okay. All right. So you are moving stealthily right now. So keeping to the shadows, kind of continuing that like stealth operator thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, you start looking for someone. You start looking at faces. You come into a more populated area. The court is in session, but this is the thing about, and Alessandra has had to become used to this. Your house, Alessandra, is just constantly full of strangers, and they don't just stick to one room. They wander. You literally have to like lock the door to anywhere you don't want random nobles to wander into, like they own the place, because that's how the king had a separate building for this, and they didn't keep anything like special or secret there because they knew the nobles would just infest the place. So you're back at court, Joy, and there are nobles everywhere. Whispering and gossiping and chatting and drinking and
there's a sense. There's a certain sense of like, oh, good, you know, like to it because this whole thing is basically like I took some steps forward and now I'm back here, sort of feeling. But we'll see what happens. Who's this person?
Yeah, so you come around a corner and you see a man dressed in the dark green of House Larix. He has, since last you saw him, he has grown his hair long, so he has it tied back into a kind of Geralt of Rivia like ponytail thing behind him. And he seems, his body language is different maybe than you're used to. Where normally he had a kind of like slightly hunched effect. He was a bit of a skulker. Now he stands like taller, his shoulders squared, and in his arms you see a pudgy little kid dressed in similar livery, and the two of them are looking at a painting. Big ass oil painting of a man on horseback with long gray hair and a beard, hurling a spear through the back of some barbaric looking like witch woman.
Sounds great.
There's like lightning in the sky. It looks like a painting of like Odin or some shit, right? Big heroic, like throwing down the thunderbolt.
I don't think I see any in particular. This is Reza, right? Like I see Reza.
It's Reza, yeah. It's Reza and Necula.
So I don't see any particular reason to hide myself from Reza. Reza already hates me, so it's really not a big deal.
Just a real quick question. How old is Necula? Because I feel like Necula is a different
He's 5.
size every time. Okay. So you could pick up a 5-year-old.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's not like he's like a swaddled baby.
It's like a pudgy
It's just
5-year-old.
like he's holding up his kid. Yeah.
Sorry, I was just trying
to get him close to the painting.
Honestly, though, Dave, like I will readily admit to, between episodes of the show, like especially episodes we've talked about Necula a lot, I've Googled what does a 5-year-old look like.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know what a kid looks like when they're 5. I feel like a movie where there's a scene where a woman gives birth and then they like hand her like an 8-month-old, and I'm like, that's believable. That's what a baby looks like, right?
Okay,
cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, I don't feel a need to hide myself from Reza.
Okay.
So I stride out of my skulking position. And up to the lord of the house, so to speak.
Prior to your murdering of Gavril,
yes.
and I'm asking this of Elf because obviously Joy doesn't know that she's talking to 2 people.
Well, and that's why I'm not hiding, right? Like because it would be a bit of a meta thing.
You are walking up to a man who hates you, who is possessed by a man you killed, who doesn't know you killed him yet.
Yeah,
but he also has supernatural ghost powers. So who knows?
And it all sounds really great.
Yeah. Also a baby. But not a baby. He's 5, which is still a baby. I don't know. He's a toddler.
Kid.
So, what was your relationship like with Gavril and Blue Jay? Feel free to contribute.
Yeah, feel free to contribute to this.
I think he probably hated you. I think he was probably like, this is foolishness, and he didn't brook that shit. I don't imagine Gavril had much of a sense of humor, but.
I mean, I was a servant for Gavril, though. I wasn't a...
Yeah, I really doubt that he cared either way. It's very much like the way that people pay attention to servants is like only if they mess up, you know?
I mean, here's the other question. Is Gavril a racist? Because...
I mean, yes, probably. Because
so he probably didn't like me very much.
I mean, so here's the thing, right? Is that the Carpathians don't like Stygians because the church told them not to, not because they've ever had any kind of bad interaction with them personally.
Yeah, of course.
So most of the people who live in Carpathia, you're like weird, right? They would be like, "What's that? Look at that! That's a Stygian. I ain't never seen no Stygian before." But the establishment, because the church is like, we are at war with these heretics, and Carpathians are pious. It's not that they're racist exactly. It's that they hate you on the precepts of religion, where they think that you are inherently that religion, right?
You're a heretic, not a...
That sounds perfect, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I think my relationship with Gavril was probably one of indifference and mild dislike.
Reza recognizes you. Gavril just sees like someone below him.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
I think it's probably the way it would go.
All right. So you you come around the corner.
So I walk out of the darkness, or like stop skulking at least, and approach Reza, and I say, "My lord," like to try and get his attention.
Yeah, and he turns, and Nikolai turns, and he scowls, and you bow and say, "My lord," and he says, "I was certain you were dead."
And from the bow, like I'm still like hunched over, and I just like raise my head and I go like, "It did take me some time to make my way in here. Your guards are very insistent about appointments, maybe check on that. But I need to see the king. I assume he's here."
And like this is kind of a lot, right? Right? Because you're just like, "Aha, I'm here for all these things." And he
yeah, but that's always been Joy's thing.
Yeah.
Like fluster them with bullshit.
And he scowls and he says, "So you just walked into the house, went through the front door?"
Well, see, one of the benefits of being so closely associated with His Royal Highness is that I can do those things. Yes.
This isn't the castle. You can't just come and go as you please.
Well, we'll see what the king has to say about that. I'm sure he'll be anxious to see me. This is the point I'm trying to make. The king, where shall I go?
The king is a busy man, and I'm the man of the house, so you can deal with me. What business do you have here?
Oof, man of the house. How very nice for you. My business is, as I've been saying, with the king. I survived that horrible freezing death trap and made my way here through some circuitous methods, but I believe I am still the king's business.
Let's see if you can persuade him to take you to the king.
You don't like me.
He does not like you, no.
When he said he was the man of the house, I was like, "Ugh, ugly truth, ugly truth."
I mean, you could. That's your second approach, is to try to cow him. But you know men like this.
Yeah,
right?
I'm just gonna try and persuade him.
Most people, you can lean on your fool trait by being like, hee hee, ho ho, I'm the fool. I can get to say whatever I want, but no one takes me seriously. But you're essentially alone in the room with this guy who like has hit you before for talking shit, and no one else knows that you're here. So there is a danger to you. So yeah, it's persuade. And your intent is that he doesn't want to deal with you, and he just takes you to the king and is like, here's your dog.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
I need to see the king.
Okay. It's ob 4. However, you did attempt to circles, and he doesn't like you. So let's.
So
also,
what are
don't forget to put Reza. Don't forget to put Reza on your list of like people you've circled.
Oh yeah. What are the consequences of my failure here?
Okay, so you're at +2 ob, so it's ob 6 to persuade.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm asking what the consequences of my failure are, because
I mean, it hasn't escalated to the point where he's gonna like do anything bad to you, but I think probably he won't take you to the king, and he'll demand that you tell him what you're doing here. He'll think that if you have anything important to say, you can say it to him, and then he can take it to the king.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's roll persuade and fail because I don't have that many points.
Do you want to spend Artha? You can spend Artha.
Need more difficult persuade tests.
Yeah, you've got a persona point you can spend.
I mean, yeah. Can I fork in falsehood again?
I mean, I think you're telling the truth. I think you can fork in ugly truth.
Okay, I'll fork in ugly truth.
Because, like, I mean, none of what you're saying is a lie. Like,
it's true.
The proper thing to do is take him to the king, because you weren't fired. You're the king's fool.
It's like, yeah, and who the fuck cares if you're the man of the house? The king.
Yeah.
The king, dude.
And I guess I'll use my persona, because what the fuck else am I gonna do? Like, I'm never gonna get there otherwise.
Okay.
So hang on while I just
Quick, Adam. Now stab her. She's powerless.
Okay, also corruption. Also, you can spend fate.
I'm
to
not
get
using corruption. Okay, corruption. I'm done with that shit. I'm done with it. It's done.
But corruption's not done with you.
I don't care. I don't care. The last time I did a corruption roll and I got nothing on the good chart, that means I'm done. I'm not.
Yeah, you've learned your lesson.
Fuck corruption. Base ob 6, you said, right?
Yeah, base ob 4 plus 2 for the field service.
Yeah. Well, I do not succeed.
You got a
I
6.
have 6. I might as well spend some fate. Why the fuck not? There's no reason for me not to. Roll 6, get another success, but it doesn't really matter.
Okay, so you got four of the 6 that you needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he just
If he didn't hate me, it'd be fine.
Yeah, he becomes aware of he's aware of the power dynamic here. And he's still holding Neculai, who's just like staring at you. And it almost adds like a level of it where he turns like his full attention. He turns his body towards you instead of looking at this big ominous oil painting. And he looks down at you, and the kid is just like kind of like glassy-eyed staring at you too. And he says, there's no way I'm taking you to see the king. He has courtiers to attend to all day and more important business than talking to a sniveling worm like you. If you want to find your way back into his graces, then you have to go through me. Tell me what it is you're doing here.
My lord. I don't remember saying that I needed really to speak with him desperately, but I do so long for the days of curling up at his feet and making fun of people like you. So that's what I'm here for. Nothing else. The creature comforts, my lord. So I can get them nowhere else. The king and his employ.
You should watch your tone with me, fool. The others, they might brook this insolence, but you're on very thin ice with me. We have no need for japes. Get you gone. Find your way back out in the snow and find some hole to die in. The king needs no jester.
My lord. You just don't understand my usefulness. I am an incredibly valuable asset, and I could be to you as well. We could be friends, you know. There's no need for this hostility between us.
He makes a like I just bit into a lemon face, like ugh, friends with you. It's just
you know
idea.
You know who's very close to the king, don't you? Your dear Elisandre. And you know who else would be very close to the king? Me, idiot.
He hits you when you call him idiot.
That's what I thought.
He backhands you. Yeah,
totally.
Sure. Yeah, it's just all of a sudden he just like slaps you in the face, instinctively. Do you make any effort to like?
Oh, not at all.
Okay, you just take the
when
hit.
When he hits me, I like fall to the ground in the direction of the hit. You know.
Do you have
like,
you don't have like a brawling or anything like that?
I have brawling being opened, but that's it.
Okay, well let's have you make a brawling test. We'll just do an opposed test to see how bad like you take the hit, right? Because part of this brawling roll is that you roll with it.
I'm also numb, so like a superficial wound is gonna do nothing.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I don't think he can hurt you any worse than that, but it is important to like make
yeah,
sure
of course.
You're taking a hit.
Let's do the roll.
Okay.
So what am I rolling here?
You're gonna roll whatever brawling is based on.
Okay.
And
well, can I roll the being? I can learn the being learned of brawling, right?
Yes. Yeah. It's just he has
cool.
brawling.
Yeah, for sure.
And his intent is just to like hit you, essentially. Like that's all he wants. He doesn't want to like make you change anything you're doing. It's a reaction. He doesn't even think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm just seeing if he has anything to fork. So brawling, then 1.
I'll need 2 for every one of your
one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So he's got some forks. Okay. All right. He's forking 2. And base ob is 0 because it's versus. Okay, so you only got one. You got one success. It's a glancing blow.
I only got one as well.
Okay, so he got two and you got one. So it's whatever his like. It's a superficial wound. I'm pretty sure because his
last time he hit me, I didn't do anything.
superficial on an unarmed strike is like half of your power rounded up. I think like an unarmed hit. So
I'm not sure.
Let me take a quick look. You take a wound, but it's probably going to be too low for you to really even feel it. I just closed this character sheet. Give me a second here. Reza Albius. His power is 5, so it's a B. Yeah, you just take a B2.
Yeah, that doesn't even really phase Joy.
Yeah, it's a superficial wound which you ignore, and it'll fade at the end of the scene. And yeah, what is it like? You failed, so you don't come out of it gracefully. I'll let you describe it. Like it hits,
I
and
imagine
your ears ring a little. You don't feel it. A normal person might, but
I imagine you just like the backhand comes in, and instead of like standing, which I could do, like through this, the easiest thing to avoid like further hitting basically is to just like fold. And Joy knows how to fall real well. So it's sort of a tumble, right?
The trick though is that you failed to roll with the hit. So you try. That's how it goes in your head.
Yeah.
But what part of it makes it so that you fail?
I mean, I think she hits the ground really hard. And it's been a while since someone has like treated her this way, right? So there's a certain amount of like, oh right, like this is where I'm at right now, like feeling to it, which puts her off.
This house is full of nostalgic moments for Joy.
Or she like maybe stumbles into the wall, or something like that. It's just one of those things. Yeah.
So he doesn't say anything. It's like it doesn't even happen for him. It's like he's punctuating a sentence. So he just like you call him an idiot, and you just then his hand is in your face, and you just snap, and it hits you. You turn sideways, hit the wall, and then fall to the floor. Neculai makes a little gurgling sound and like claps his hands like he's pleased by this.
Oh, good.
And Reza says, you would do well to respect me in my home.
And she doesn't get up. She just like gets to her knees basically. And like prostrates herself as if before a like, like a holy figure sort of thing, like head down, like arms on the ground, like elbows to the ground, basically. And like says into the floor, basically like, "Oh yes, my lord, sorry, spoke out of turn. I'll be mindful to be more respectful in the future."
Yeah, you don't see this, but he nods like, yeah, good. You learned your lesson.
But in agreeing to that, he's basically saying like, good, you're going to be around in the future is my thought here. The whole like, well, I'm not going to throw you out now. I don't know. That's just the way that
yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing, right? Is that you're trying to soothe him, right? You're trying to be like, I'm not worth kicking out. You're like sucking up. Okay. Well, let's have you make that roll. Let's have you do a soothing platitudes.
I don't have that, so okay. I should really play my character the way the stats say I should play my character, more than just going with like what makes sense at the time.
Yeah, but think of all the tests that you're getting. So it is the victim's.
Matter if I never learn them.
It's the victim's will. So this is going to be you don't have this skill. So this is going to be 12, I guess.
What?
When it comes in.
Okay.
And the failure state here is that I think like you want him to be like fine and walk away and just let you stay in the house. That's the intent.
My success state here is that he just like leaves me alone.
Okay.
Because I can find my own way if I have to. Yeah. I'm gonna lick his boots. That's my plan.
Okay. I think that if you succeed by some miracle, then he just is like, you're pathetic and leaves, right? And it's like, don't cause any more trouble.
There's no way I'll succeed, so
Yeah.
just tell me what's gonna happen.
And if you fail, I think he just takes you somewhere to pawn you off on someone else, right? Because he doesn't want to have to deal with you either, but he can't have you walking around the house by yourself. So what he'll probably do is like, you're below me, and he'll like lock you up in a room until somebody can come and deal with you. Like, for example, Alessandra.
All right, cool.
Yeah. So let's get you that test.
There you go.
Okay. So you got four of the necessary 12
yeah.
successes.
Yeah. I got 2 6s in there.
It's true.
Fuck it.
All right.
Might as well roll them.
Yeah, might as well mark that fate.
I don't know. Fucking 2 more successes.
It's pretty good. Six successes on 5 dice is still pretty solid. It just
Look, I'm a bootlicker for a reason.
yeah, that you don't have
don't have the skill.
Don't have the skill. So mark that you spent it the point, and mark that you're working towards brawling and soothing platitudes. Make sure you got those.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think he just bodily like picks you up, just like grabs you by the scruff of your neck,
Yeah,
and then
drags me.
pushes you, and you find yourself basically like thrown in a closet. And you hear the closet, the door shut. You hear the door lock. And he says through the door, he says, that ought to keep you out of trouble for now, till I can find someone else to take you out of here. And you can hear him grinning, like, I could have thrown you out, but it's funnier to lock you up in a closet. And he walks away, and it occurs to you perhaps that hopefully he will actually tell someone you're here and not forget about you, and that
Someone will need this broom eventually.
you'll starve to death or whatever, right? Like you'll die of thirst in this closet. But yeah, out of sight, out of mind. And and as you hear him walking away, he's saying because he's done all of this with a kid in one arm. He's saying to Neculai, he says, you see, Neculai, this is how things are. There are those in control and those in need of being controlled. We simply require a firm hand to show them where they belong. And you hear Neculai say something like, yes, of course, like agreeing. And Reza walks away out of earshot.
I like slump down onto the floor of this closet and say something into my hands like, I fucking hate this place.
Yep. So yeah, as to what is in the closet or whatever, we can come back to that. This is a time for like, you could scavenge something or whatever, or you could just wait.
I don't have that skill either.
Yeah.
So
Cool. Okay. So we'll fade out on Joy. And we'll check in with let's check in with Lodowick. Let's do a short scene with Lodowick for now to set things up. So Lodowick, you and you've sent your bodyguard and your assistant, your assister, to go and what was the errand you sent them on?
They were going to extend an invitation to Saltpeter, who is apparently firearms or making presumably gunpowder.
Right, Saltpeter the explosionist.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, so I mean, I don't think that this is the scene where you figure out that they're not coming back. What do you do after you send them away? What's something that you that you attend to? Because you can't just be sitting there waiting for them to return. What else do you do?
Right. Perhaps I have that. We never really nailed down specifically. I made the contact. I did the successful circles to get access to my arms market analyst, but we never nailed down what my goals were going to be from him to like actually action my plan.
You got the data, you got the research, but you haven't decided what to do about that yet.
Yeah, we need to break it down into goals to complete to one persona.
That's right. Okay, so what? I guess you have you have the report, right? You have the folio of papers before you, laying out kind of the current state of iron in swords and like number of swords per capita in the city. You have a pretty solid. This is the kind of information that, as you look over it, occurs to you that if Carpathia were being directly threatened by like an outside force, they would love this information. Like Carpathia's neighbors be like, this is pretty good. You have a pretty good idea of like how strong the Green Mantle Company could be in a moment of crisis. If they suddenly needed to draft a bunch of people and get weapons. So looking over it, you have both the physical, like this thing represents both knowledge, but also it's like a Rand Corporation report that you could sell to a foreign power or could give you leverage in that regard. You could also take it to the king if you could draw insight from it and be like, yo, here are the places where your kingdom is vulnerable. This is a useful object. And so I think you're sitting looking over it, and what do you want? What do you want to know? Like you could use it to make a research test or...
Am I even opening research? No.
So maybe to you, it's not so much like something you could dive into and understand, but it represents a commodity.
Right. Okay, actually, I tell you what I would like to do with it.
Okay.
I would like to use this. No. Can you get advantage on learning tests? Like, if I'm learning something and I use that, could I use it as advantage?
Use it as an advantage on what? What kind of tests would you want to do?
I'm looking at what's being opened at the moment, and I have markets wise. So if I want to establish something about the fiction, and I have this.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, using a wise to establish something, you could use this data as a one-time like bonus die for that.
Okay.
I wanna come up with a name because I think I owe you names for 2 characters. So
yes.
Did we determine the gender of the arms market analyst?
I think we said he, but I don't remember hugely.
I'm not sure.
Okay, well, someone do me a favor and figure that out, and I will come up with a name for this person.
Okay, he can be male. That seems fun.
Okay. His name is Tobor. Tobor is a good name.
Okay.
So Tobor used to be Tobor the scribe. Used to be like a church scribe, but got out of that business once he smartly realized that the middle class was rising. So Tobor was like, God is great, and I'm glad that I learned how to read and write and understand information, but I'm out of the church business. And he was smart enough to get out of the church business before God got out of the church business. So he has all these skills, and he's been applying them so he has a particular understanding of like military and that sort of thing. Okay, so Tobor the scribe is your market analyst. Also, just as far as NPCs go, the character, did we get a name for the character that you sent the letter to, like your liaison to the mercenary companies?
No.
Okay, your foreign friend from back home doesn't have a name yet.
No, I didn't even put them down as a relationship because I'm dumb.
This was a person that you circles, right? This was the person you sent the letter to.
Yeah. Oh no, I know why. It's because back like 3 weeks ago, this section of the sheet didn't exist, did it? That's why I've not.
Back when you first set that up, yeah. Okay, so let me make up a name for that person too. So they're from, and this was a man, I think. This person.
Yeah.
And his name. His name is Martin. And
E or I?
I.
Cool.
And I'll come up with the last name because y'all have like family names.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Martin Langbrook.
Nice.
All right, so the mercenary liaison. Just because he's going to write you back this session, you're going to get a letter from him.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Langbrook, and it's spelled the Dutch way, so like Broek instead of OOK.
Yep.
And he's currently very far from home. He's across the sea, so he'll like get back from his voyage and send you a letter. Okay, so anyway, you have this packet of data, and you wanted to establish something about the current like arms dealer situation here.
Yeah, I'm wondering, since he's got all the information done for me, the analyst, can I just pay him to make the research roll for me?
You'd have to roll circles to see if he's available, and then you could, potentially.
The fiction was that we were actually both in my office talking.
Yeah. This is more a circles test to be like, is he available to you, like to work, or does he have another job coming up? And he's like, I can't right now. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, that's fine. I'm afraid I don't remember what the. Okay, it was either 3 or less for the circles test. I don't remember what it was before.
I think it was 3.
Because I've only got reading tests marked.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I think it's up 3, just for availability of Martin. Now you have you've circles before, so you do have the extra bonus die.
Okay.
And your usual affiliation and reputation bonus if you want to use those. And I think the failure condition on this one, this is one of those times where it's simply like he's too busy and you'll have to do it on your own.
Yes. Okay. Let me just check if I can work in a difficult test if I don't draw anything in. Dun, 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 dun. 4. No. So I might as well just roll with everything I got because it's going to be routine anyway.
Okay.
Phew, only just.
With 8 dice, it's not a very good roll. But
It's not.
It's a success, and that's all that matters.
Perfect.
Okay, so
I increase the aptitude by 1, or do I just take it?
Yes, yeah. You're moving towards having a relationship with Tobor. So you're sitting with Tobor, and you've asked like, hey, are you available? Are you available to to do some more work for me? And Tobor says to you like, of course, Mr. Exter, your money is always good with me. And he like grins like, I know you can afford my fees.
Absolutely.
You have something else I need to research, or what can I do to help you? And he has there's this like conspiratorial attitude developing between him where he's like, I know what questions you're asking. What are you going to do with them?
Yeah. Well, Mr. Tobor, the data you provided so far has been very interesting and very useful. But what I'm looking for now, and since you're the one who collated it, is to focus it down. Look at making steps towards a particular goal. Finding which sections are relevant to each goal.
And he grins. Yes, a fine idea. It is one thing to know where the veins of gold are, and another to know how to mine them. This is good, I think. We can find something. And he like taps the papers, something hidden in here. Tell me, what is your end goal? What do you desire, Mr. Exter, that this information can give you?
I don't want to spill the beans entirely. Because like we've said, on some level, I've got to be slightly aware that it's very seditionist to be asking all these questions.
It certainly could be seen that way, but also like information wants to be free, right? Like why shouldn't you be allowed to know these things?
Why don't I Why don't I make this interesting then? This is going well. Let's give him an opportunity to backstab me.
Okay.
Why don't I both describe it, but persuade him that it's in his best interest to just keep this with me for the time being.
Okay.
If this information stays private, we can do a lot more work together, I think is the angle.
Right. So you want to rope him into your conspiracy and like kind of get him on board, like that this could work for him, that there's profit to be made in whatever you're coming up with.
I don't quite know enough about it to be able to ask the questions without giving away the game plan. So instead, I'm going to bring him onto my side.
Okay. All right. Let's have you make that roll. So you're going to try to persuade Tobor. I'm going to give Tobor a will of 3. I'll make that note here for later when I have to burn him up. And so it's an ob 3 persuade test.
Okay.
And if you succeed, he agrees with you that it is more advantageous to work with you, come what may, because you're going to be on the winning side, and he also should be. If you fail, he will seem like you have convinced him of that, but will know that you have a guilty conscience or that this is dangerous, and he will socket it away later for when he needs to betray you.
Good old Tobor the snitch.
Yeah, yes. Though it might not be a snitch, it might be the like when if he needs to like deflect from himself, he could be like, well, let me turn this guy, let me turn the attention on him.
Goddamn,
Yeah, I'm only asking these questions on the behalf of someone else.
goddamn Rolf Ball.
Yeah. Is this dude a merchant as well, or
No, he's I mean he's not a merchant in the sense that you would understand a merchant. He is a seller of services, not of goods.
He's not a peasant, he's not a lord, he's not
No.
a pirate.
He's a monk, really. Like he's a monk who's given up his religion.
There would be this like huge influx of people like him after God dies, where they're like, "Cool, I guess I'm going straight."
Well, there'd be the creation of a new intelligentsia, because the monks are all the people that know how to read and write and like
and they suddenly go secular
and like yeah.
Oh, you actually answered the question with your wording. He is a supplier in this case.
Yeah.
So I can fork in supplier wise. Can I fork in haggling, because I'm talking about making this a lucrative opportunity for the both of us?
No, I don't think you're at haggling yet. That's
Okay.
I don't think that applies here. I think that's something else.
Right. Okay, it looks like I've only got one advantage then.
Okay.
Or one modifier.
Okay, ob 3.
Ooh. Ooh, there's a 6.
There's a 6.
Let's do it.
All right, good luck.
Here we go. Come on, friend.
Ooh. All
Ba,
right.
ba.
Oh, well.
I'm going to make a note in my GM notebook. I'm going to use my red pen.
Yes,
Nice.
friend.
Mm-hmm. So what is it? What information is it that you tell him? Like, what is your plan in its clearest sense? Under the belief, right? Lodovic is spilling the beans, so to speak, because you already believe that Tobor wants those beans. So tell us about the conspiracy that you
Tell us about beans.
Right. Well, friend Tobor, the end goal here is, I suppose, well, let's say this is a very roundabout way to get what I want, but one of the only ways that I know how exactly, I'm sure, as you can tell from our continued conversation so far, I'm a little bit more confident in making my money speak for me than necessarily myself. And as such, to prevent the outbreak of chaos and violence in the city, which I have on good authority may well be coming soon, I simply wish to remove the possibility of it happening by not allowing people to access to the tools of violence.
Lodowick believes in gun control. Lodowick controls the guns. Yeah, and so he says, he looks at the information. He says to you, you have asked me questions about where the Green Mantle Company gets their weapons from, about iron mines, about suppliers. This information, you could use it to keep these weapons out of the hands of the proper authorities. Do you not think the Green Mantle Company is having Carpathia's best interests in mind?
I think I know people who wish to make this the case. I'm not saying it necessarily doesn't at the moment.
And Mr. Axter, you do not to me come across as a man who believes in pacifism. You do not wish to see swords made to plowshares. Are you to put all of these smiths out of business? Close their shops? Make no more swords?
No, not necessarily. I'm a big believer in expanding on markets rather than shrinking them. There's always more opportunity to be had that way. However,
sorry, go ahead.
However, the right people having access to their wares is more important to me at the moment.
He says, and I think, Mr. Axter, you having the resources you do are well suited to decide who the right people are.
I hope so.
And yeah, he nods and says, I think this market no different from any other, just dangerous commodities. The nobles would not be pleased to know this, but he puts his hands up. Do not worry, your secret is safe with me. And he gives you a grin, and we see like a gold tooth like glint in the light. And you believe, for now at least, that he's on board. You've won him over. And yeah, he'll help you dig into this research to find the next thing. However, he now knows he has that grin is more like, I have leverage over you, fucko. So later when he gets the screws put to him, when Charlotte finds out you've been working with this guy, we'll see what happens. Cool. Yeah. All right. So let's take our second break there, and you can think about what you want him to research for, what answers you're looking for, so you can aim yourself at the next goal on your way to cornering the weapons market. And when we get back, we will have the meeting between Agatha and Alessandra. So don't go anywhere. We got witches and angels and economics when we return.